disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.
Welcome once again to another episode of Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, the podcast about martial arts, movies, and life. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, Joe Hartley. What's up, man?
What's going on?
We have no idea where Angel is. He has not responded to our messages, so he is out and about somewhere. If this is your first time with us, I want you to know we are members of the Martial Arts Internet Network. On Tuesdays, we got CTE with Chris Lopes and Travis. Wednesdays is us. Most of the time, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks with Gene, Joe, and Angel. And on Thursday, you can get the Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. For more information, just check us out on social media. Just look for the Martial Arts Internet Network on all of the social media platforms. Just look for us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Patreon. Joe, it's showtime. What's going on, man?
Yes, sir. You know what? This week and weekend has just been a little up and down, but for the most part, we're back on track. Everything's okay.
Yeah, once again, happy birthday, man.
Thank you. 42 years young, you know?
All right. I
yeah.
don't even remember being 42. I got to think about what year that was when I turned 42 in order to
Wait,
know.
You're not that much older than me, are you?
I'm 5 years, so I'll be 47 in September. So
that's not that much older. I mean, you know, we're both looking up at 50 a little bit. You're just a little closer.
Yeah. I'm staring it straight in the face.
You know, a lot of people, it's so funny because I like to hear people's perspective sometime on like what's old to them. Because I remember before I turned 30, everyone's like, oh, 30, what, are you going to be okay?
Yeah,
like,
I remember that.
30 was fine. 40, when I got to 40, I was like, well, no big deal. But COVID was going on, so I didn't really get to celebrate. My wife did a nice video, which, you know, y'all were a part of, so that was fun. But like, for the most part, it's just another day. It's another day, man. I enjoy it. Do what I can. So you know, it's all good. Yeah, Tuesday was a crazy day. So Tuesday was my birthday, and I had plans made back in December. My boy and his wife got tickets to Blink 182, a rock band that I've enjoyed. So, you know, they were around since '96, and then they kind of were on hiatus. There was talk that they broke up or something like that, but I know that one of the lead singer and guitarist, Mark, he had cancer. So I don't know if it was a little bit of animosity between the band or just that or what. So they were on a good 6, 7, 8 year hiatus before they started coming back, but still sounded real good. You know, their last 2 albums weren't so bad. I still enjoy their old stuff, but man, they really brought the house down. So, you know, they played all their good songs and they spread it out real nice. They played a full set plus about 6 encore. And they were so funny because there was 2 songs I really wanted to hear. Saved it for the end. I was like, oh, there's no way they're going to go without these 2 songs. You know how you go.
Were you getting worried?
No, you know, they're you could tell by the way they were doing things, like they very much appreciate their fans and they know what the fans want.
Okay.
And I mean, the Travis Barker, the drummer, he's like one of the best drummers out there right now. Like he just had hand surgery. He just messed his hand all up, and he just got back from that. Like I think he's only done 2 or 3 shows since his hand surgery. So like they would stop and kind of filibuster while he was wrapping his hand up, but you couldn't tell. I mean, he was killing it still. So it was fun. Okay. I had a good time with that. I went out to dinner. You know, he just got married. That's the guy, my boy, Sean, we call him Chewy. He just got married in last September. And, you know, between me and my family and him being married and got his own thing going on, like we don't get to see each other that much. We talk a lot, but so it was fun to hang out with them and do something, you know, on my birthday that we haven't got to do in a while. So that was fun. And then on top of that, I had a little drama at home. You know, my oldest, she ended up in the hospital while I was downtown at this concert.
That has to
So
be
we,
that has to been like a scary situation to be away.
yeah, it's a little nerve wracking, but with everything that happened with my son, my wife and I are kind of pros at this whole just let's drop in at the hospital. It's kind of scary. Now I will say this: I haven't talked 100% with my wife about this, but being at the hospital after so long and not having to be there gave me a little PTSD. Not gonna lie. But they are great over there. They really are. They're very inviting. They got a good staff, and they really take care of you. My daughter, she has a high anxiety, especially in situations like that. And when I got there, she seemed like she was doing real good. So I like to see that. That's very important to me that they take care of us, but they also just make my family feel very comfortable. Like I said, when I know that she's comfortable, then they must be doing a good job because, like I said, she has very high anxiety. So about situations that are like that. So, long story short, she had an iron deficiency during her fun time during the month, and so it caused some issues. We got it taken care of with a couple of blood transfusions, and now she's got some medication to regulate all that. So we should be good.
Okay.
And keep trucking on. My other daughter and my son, uh, she's doing backstage for the play today, and he's got a small part that they give. They ask like little kids to come in and do. So I think he's playing a cow. So his first day for that is today. Yeah, he's got like two lines. I don't know what a cow. It says something more than moo. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna go see it. I'm gonna go see it tomorrow. So, and other than that, we're doing good, man.
do
Everything's good in
do
there.
they ask you to rehearse with them or practice with them?
So she, like I said, she's part of the crew. So she stays after school when this happens. She stays after school for like 2-3 hours every day. She's painting scenery. She's setting up. She's learning how to do the curtains. She's learning how to run on stage and when it's dark and move all the scenery around and make it when you have to do a scene change. So that's what she does.
Okay.
Then, so this is middle school. My son is in his last year of elementary. So what they do, they like to throw in littles, they call them. So younger brothers, younger
Mhm.
siblings of the everybody else in the play, and they like to put them in for small parts to add to the play. The last one they did was Into the Woods, and they brought them out for a singing number. So yeah, they have them like the last 2 weeks. They'll have the littles show up when they can and help out. And my son, he loves the attention, so he likes to go do that.
Okay. All right.
How about you, man? How you been?
I've been cool, man. I've been getting busy and not realizing how busy I'm getting. Until you take a step back and look. I'm like, damn, I got to do this now. Like, I'm not done.
Yeah.
So things are really picking up with work. So my manager asked me to stores in St. Louis. So yeah, we have to hire a new person to work out in St. Louis, and so I'm covering until they find someone. So if anybody has any issues in any of the stores in St. Louis, they have to call me. So I took
Really?
on that. Yeah, I took on that task.
And they do that all remotely?
Well, I'm going to have to because I'm not going to St.
I
Louis.
know that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, are they preferring? Would they prefer to have someone in St. Louis?
They prefer because the St. Louis person also covers Kansas City also.
Okay.
So yeah. So yeah, I guess at some point in time we're gonna have to hire someone for that market. So I got that, and then of course I'm getting ready for my trip down to Kentucky next week. So me and Melissa, we're gonna head out on Sunday. She's going with me.
Okay.
So she works remotely. So
Yeah.
she's just gonna work in the hotel room while I go out and make some store visits for down there. And between that and the dojo, man, just things are really picking up at the dojo. We constantly get new kids coming in, and so you got new kids you got to take care of.
Yep.
Then you have kids getting ready to test for the next belt or stripe or whatever. So my purple belts and my green belts are, preparing for that. I got kids testing, preparing for black belt tests later on in the year. We have your class, the weapons class. So I've been talking to them because when you're not there, they bring in their bows. So I've been
Okay.
talking to them and working with them on doing the bow with intensity and not just going through the motions.
Yeah.
So some of the kids they've been bringing their bows in. Um, then
And I
on
always give them a few things to practice and work on so we can add it to the form. But I want to add it like, when they get it going.
exactly
Not just throw it in there because it's fun.
right. Then of course we have people getting ready for my uncle's tournament on June
Yep.
4th. Then we got the advanced kids that are they're pretty ready to go with that, and then but I have some purple belts that's gonna compete also. So I'm talking to them, getting them ready for it also.
Okay.
And I just finalized the deal for the jujitsu instructor to come in, and I think he's gonna start in June. I got the adult and teen class is going to pick back up again in June. So, I just been, I got busy just out of nowhere. The shirts, I got a lot of shirts to make because people have been asking for apparel. So I got some shirts to make, and then I got to finish writing these comic strips. So I'm never bored. I'm
I guess
never
not.
bored. No, I'm never bored, man. And then of course, making time for Melissa, making time for Champ, watching the movies. There's no time to be bored. There,
No.
there's no time. Let me ask you something, man. What time? Well, man, this might not count for you, but let's say when you had the morning shift and you worked. Oh no, you do work 6 o'clock in the morning. Well, what time do you normally go to bed?
My ideal time, if I can go to bed by 11, I'm pretty good.
Okay, now are you the last person to go to bed, or are you the first person to go to bed?
Mm, depends.
Mm.
I mean, like my wife, she's the one type like she wants to watch a little TV and like fall asleep like that. Like me, I want a fan on, no light, nothing distracting, just knocked out.
See, that's how Melissa is. That's how Mel is. That's how And I'm like your wife. Like I like to watch TV a little bit before I go to bed. You know.
I just gave up on it. Like we'll watch a show together, like because that's kind of the only time we really get,
Hmm.
So we'll watch a show together, and then I'm like, okay, it's time to go to bed. She might watch another show, or if she's tired enough, or she'll be on her phone.
Hmm.
So or on the computer doing work. Like
Hmm.
she's always going. So
Yeah, yeah. So I stay up a little later. Watching
yeah.
TV, watching movies,
No.
getting
Most of the
caught up
time
on
I'm up.
shows.
Most of the time I'm up till midnight at least.
Yeah, I am too. Maybe even a little bit past midnight. Because I'm doing something from the time I wake up in the morning
Yeah.
until the time I'm done teaching class. So I'm going from 7:30 in the morning until 8:30 every night. I'm going boom, 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 Tuesdays when we record the podcast, I'm still going until we get done doing the podcast.
Yes,
So
sir.
so I spend a little time at night just unwinding and planning and thinking about different things that I want to do, or things that I have to do, or the best way to do things. Running a dojo, man, it's not easy, and thank goodness, man. I've been giving props to the red belts that have been stepping up, man, and I like the fact that their teaching is 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 starting to help them. They're really starting to understand this activity that we do, man.
Yeah.
Just the little things that they didn't realize that they knew before. Just watching them explain things to green belts or a purple belt, or teaching them how to do forms or one steps and things like that, man. It's actually taking a lot off of my plate, and I'm able to focus on other things. And they're constantly getting better because they're doing it more and more, and I'm paying them, so they're definitely getting better, and they like getting paid. So
Heck yeah, man.
yeah.
That's what I do it because I started. Shoot, I think I was intermediate, and I was like 13, 14, and I was
Hmm.
running classes. I was teaching adults. I just remember thinking that's weird. Why am I teaching adults?
I get that,
But
but you know what? We had that in our school also in my uncle's school, and none of the adults ever seemed to mind that
No, they
someone,
really didn't. They were very respectful. It's crazy.
yeah, yeah, because I mean the kids were teaching them something that they didn't
Yeah.
know, and the kids weren't wrong. To see a green belt or a blue belt helping out an adult parent that's a white belt or a gold belt do basic for number one or two, or helping them out with their one steps or whatever.
You know what's
That's pretty
funny? I
cool.
used to get mad at some of the adults because I was like, "You're older. Like I could teach this to a 5-year-old. Why are you not getting this?" And now I'm that same age, and I'm going, "Oh my God, there's so much more in my head. I need to be taught stuff 4, 5, 6 times sometimes." And
Oh
I'm
yeah,
going,
definitely.
"Man, if I could go back and like watch this again, I'd be like, I would smack myself.
Yeah,
Like you need to keep going until they get it, man. Like I get it now."
yeah. Man, and man, you know what's funny, man, is in my head, like I still feel the same way that I felt when I was in my 20s and when I was a teenager. Like you don't really mentally, like sometimes you don't really feel like you're getting older, right? But the moment you decide to spar, that's when that's when I feel my age when I spar with my kids, man. I'm like, goodness, I definitely cannot go the way that I used to go, you know.
The I'd be looking like Peyton Manning on that new commercial where he's got the ice bags on his knees. You see that commercial?
Well, no, I haven't got to that point yet,
Uh,
I
it's so silly. The Manning brothers crack me up, but they are
yeah,
so
they
silly
do.
sometimes.
Well,
They're doing the play 60 or whatever with the
mhm,
kids, you know.
yeah.
And he's out there. They're showing him how to do drills.
Mm.
And Peyton starts, "Oh, this is how you do the drill." And Eli, because he's so much younger, and then at the end of the whole thing, Peyton's got ice bags like everywhere, and the kid's like, "You okay, man?" He's like, "I don't know." And that it was just stupid stuff. But that's what I'm like. That's how it is after sparring, man. You see, let's have an ice bath or something.
Well, I'm probably gonna start feeling that way, man, because I'm about to start rolling, about to start doing some jujitsu now, and I might I might end up being sore, but Melissa's used to hearing me complain about not feeling good from working out, lifting weights and stuff like that, or being tired, fatigued, sore, all that good stuff. So um, she'll be here to help me. So I'm not really worried
There you
about it too
go,
much.
for sure, man.
I'm not worried about it too much. And yeah, so let's get into this movie, man. Let's talk
Sure.
about it. The
What do you think?
Matrix. The Matrix Revolution. Oh, I'm just gonna tell you right now. I did not like this movie at all. I didn't.
I get you on that. I really do, because you know what? I remember waiting for the second and the third movie to come out.
Mhm.
And I remember like, oh, they shot them in the same year. They're gonna come out, almost back to back. And I was so excited for it. And then I was happy after watching it. And then I'm watching this again now, and I'm like,
It's dumb.
this
It,
was
it-
better than I thought this was better, but it wasn't.
yeah.
Um, there wasn't as much fighting.
How many fight scenes did you see? Two.
I mean, it depends on what you count. I mean, if you count the robot fighting, I guess
I didn't
maybe
count
two.
that. I didn't.
That's what I'm saying. That
You
was
know
more
what?
like a war.
Yeah, my bad. Maybe one. I'm gonna tell you what I did. I'm gonna tell you what I did. I accidentally watched the first 30 minutes of the fourth film.
Oh, okay.
And I was so confused and lost. I'm like, what? This is not this is not continuing from the second movie where it left off. And then I had to stop at 30 minutes because I was just lost. I was extremely lost and confused. And then I looked and said, "Oh, okay, this one came on in 21. Let me look for the other one." So I saw that fight scene at the beginning, and I got it kind of confused with this
Oh
movie.
yeah. No, there's
So
like I said, if you count the robot fighting, then there's maybe 2 or 3 fight scenes. But there's a lot of story unfolding. There's a lot of plot.
but the story and the plot doesn't make any. By the time you get to the end, it doesn't make any sense to me. It was dumb.
It does, but it is dumb. It was very dumb. I didn't like a lot of it. Some of it was very cringe. Again, you know me. I don't care for these love stories that have to be thrown in And then they're not even. It wasn't even a good love story.
Mhm.
Like when spoiler alert if you haven't seen this already, it's been plenty of time to 2003. She dies, and that whole scene is just so bad to me. When she's like
Well,
dying and she's talking, and he's like showing barely any emotion, but I guess he's so emotional he
I'm
can't
sup-
have emotion.
I'm
Just
glad you
weird.
said that. I'm glad you said that, man, because I was watching this movie, and I'm almost listen. I'm not dogging Keanu Reeves, so
I
don't
love
please
Keanu.
don't take it like that. But like he has no range. Like he, I mean, I think Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure is, those three films or four films, however many he did for that. Like, he is acting like a surfer dude. Okay,
Yeah,
in these movies, he's not acting like anything. He's just talking. He's not. To me, he's not doing any acting. He's just talking. And the funny
that's how
thing
he's
is,
did his thing. And Bill and Ted, and like that's his range. Bill and Ted, uh, and John Wick.
but yeah, and John
Like,
Wick, and this is pretty much he's acting the same, and I don't see no difference in the acting. He's the same type of person, like it kind of dry. And I'm gonna tell you something else, man. Melissa was watching Speed the other day. It had to been Tuesday. She's watching Speed, and I watched that movie also with her, and that's the first time I ever seen Speed. I've never watched it. I didn't watch
oh,
it
for
back then.
real? That's a great movie. The second one's terrible, but
So I saw that, and I'm like, he's acting the same in this, like he's acting in John Wick and The Matrix.
that was
So I
his
was
big
like,
role.
okay, yeah, I know. And I'm like, okay, so he is not, he doesn't have any range. Has he ever been happy in any of these movies? Has he ever showed us, like, even when he's supposed to be angry, we know he's angry just because of the things he's doing, but his facial
Yeah,
expressions doesn't show any anger, you
no.
know. So it's just like he's just kind of just there.
There's an old lawyer movie he does that's really good, but I don't know that he shows any range. Him and Al Pacino and
Oh
Charlie
yeah, yeah,
Sheen.
yeah. I like that movie, The Devil's Advocate. I like that
Yeah,
movie.
Devil's
Yeah, yeah.
Advocate.
But once
That's a
again,
great
yeah,
movie, but I
he's
don't
not.
think he has
He
much
doesn't.
range in that. In fact, I'm pretty sure Al Pacino really made that movie. So
Yeah, he did. I mean, there was one scene where I think he was arguing with his wife or whatever, but it's just like he's just speaking louder like this. Like that's that's pretty much it.
hey man, the
So,
dude's making millions off it. So what are you
but
gonna
yeah,
do?
but he, like I said, like I'm pretty sure he's a nice guy, but I'm just like, I'm thinking to myself, like, why did he keep getting these roles back in the day? Like, why didn't these roles go to somebody else back in the day? What was it about him that these casting directors loved so much? Because I'm not seeing any range with him. Unless he is the producer of these movies. I mean, I get it. You're gonna put your own self in the movie, but
It's possible.
yeah, I'm not
Um,
seeing any range. Goodness
this
gracious.
movie really only had a few parts to it. I mean, it was pretty much for being the finale of this, well, supposed finale, and then they came out with that other crap. Um, it starts off him and the other guy, they're in a coma. So for whatever reason, the other guy's going to be okay. They're not sure what's going on with Neo. Then we find out he's trapped between worlds. He's trapped between the Matrix and the machine world in a train station. Train station that's owned by the French guy.
Mhm.
Uh,
And
I
that's his
know.
name. That is his name.
No, he does have a name. They've said his name a few times, but
Oh,
it's
they
some
did.
French name. Yeah, they've
Okay.
said his name. It's like Mercier Bouchier or some crap like that.
It was the
Um,
Frenchman, and then there was somebody else, the train man or something like that.
yeah, the train maker.
Yeah.
He's the one that made that, but he works for the Frenchman. Now this train station, Neo doesn't know how he got there. Nobody knows. He's not supposed to be there because they said basically if they find out he's there, he's going to stay there and be trapped there. What its purpose is to bring over software that between worlds. So if you want some software and you want to move it from the Matrix to the machine world and vice versa, that's the purpose. So you have to, I don't know if you have to pay the Frenchman. I don't know how that works, or if he's like it's like using software as contraband. They didn't really explain it that well. So he meets a little girl and he's talking to the programs, and this little girl is the product of these two program, husband and wife program, and they basically say, you can't be in the Matrix if you don't have a purpose, and his daughter doesn't have a purpose, so they send her to the other realm. And my understanding is she's living with the Oracle, but I think she's learning how to be the next Oracle.
Your guess is as good as mine, man. I don't know.
The other thing they talked about in this, they talked about the Oracle being the mother of the Matrix, and the architect being the father. And that Smith was like the child. And he was a unruly child who was unhinged and needed to be stopped. Because his idea was to take over the Matrix and the machines, and then just take over the whole, just consume the entire world for his appetite for power.
Okay, so let me explain. Ask you something, because that was never explained in the first two movies.
They never explained it. They just said it here. They just mentioned, like, glossed over it.
Yeah, and because in the first two movies, it seemed like Smith was working for the machines.
In the first movie, he was. When Neo jumped inside of him and destroyed him, it freed him from the control of the machines, and he's allowed to think freely. Now he can go between both worlds. He's not stuck. That's why he gave Neo his headset, because his headset was what was tethering him to the machines.
So, but it never seemed like the machines were after him.
Not until he got too out of control.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
No, you're not wrong, because I was thinking the same thing. This made a lot of sense to me when I watched it the first time, but now that I'm watching it, I'm having the same questions as you, because here's what's happening. So it starts off, Neo has to get back, so they have to go get Neo, and they're waiting for him. Now the other guy, Bane, they're waiting for him to wake up so they can talk to him about what happened, because an EMP was set off too early and killed a bunch of Zion's people. And the EMPs are made to destroy the machine, so that sucks. Plus, he had like defensive wounds, meaning he was being attacked or he was attacking other people. So they wanted to talk to him about what was going on. Neo wakes up and immediately wants to go talk to the Oracle. Instead of like fighting for his life and helping everybody out, everything evolves around the Oracle. So he goes and talks to the Oracle, who, by the way, is being played by a different actress. Looks like a female Morgan Freeman.
I'm not touching that one, but
she did look like she talk like him.
She's been on a lot of different television shows.
I know,
and she has been around for a while. But what I wanted to say is they acknowledged the fact that it was a different actress, but they did not give any type of explanation. She just pretty much said, "Oh, I look different."
No, she said each time she has to relocate, like she keeps some of herself, but not all of it, because she's like, "Oh, I still like candy," but now she's smoking like a chimney.
Yeah, but I thought she was smoking in the first movie. She wasn't smoking. I thought she was.
She was, but she wasn't smoking
one of those movies, one of the first or second one of them, I thought she was smoking. But
so anyway, they glossed over that too. The other thing that disappointed me, I know she does look just like that. Come on. Anyhow, she still had her protector, but he didn't do nothing.
No.
We talked about it last time. We talked about it with Jeff a little bit. Like, we really enjoyed his fight scene.
Yeah.
No fighting this time, just walking around babysitting. So that's something that kind of disappointed me. Now, the other thing that's going on at the same time, like I said, they're trying to figure out things with Neo, is they can't find Naomi in her ship. So they're trying to locate her and hoping that, they didn't lose a ship. She also has a working EMP on her ship and, her crew and everything. So they're hoping to find them and whatever information they have. And then meanwhile, Neo, like they're having a strategy plan on how to deal with everything. Neo's gonna go meditate and figure out what he has to do. I mean, this is the guy that's supposed to be your savior, and he's just got to go off. And
it seemed like he didn't have much of a role for this movie either. It seemed like most of the movie was around the Zion people.
Yeah, it was. You're not wrong. It was interesting. It was weird. I mean, of course, and then at the end, it's all about Neo. So, go figure. So Neo comes and he gives his decision that his decision is to take. So there's 2 ships that still have to get back to Zion. His decision is he needs one of them to go to the machine world, where they have said nobody has ever survived. Now we've never seen this world other than, briefly. We've never nobody's been there in this movie yet. And Neo, the one who's supposed to be the savior, says he has to go there for whatever reason. He doesn't give him a reason. He just says,
I don't think he knew why.
That's what he has to do. And of course, the one gentleman's like, "Oh no, you're not taking my ship." Naomi gives up her ship. Who doesn't believe in the idea of the one, but she believes in Neo. That's contradicting. You don't believe in the one, but you believe in the one. Okay, thank you. Thanks for explaining that. It's as clear as mud. So Morpheus is happy because he does believe in this. He's always believed and everything. So Neo and Trinity, they go off and to the machine world, and everybody else is trying to figure out how to get back to Zion without getting captured or caught or killed. So they got like a trail that's dangerous, and nobody really knows how to navigate, but Naomi does. So she's going to navigate it, and of course that goes horribly.
Yeah, everybody said that was impossible for her to do it, but why did she believe that she could do it when everybody else said it could be done?
She did it before when she was younger.
Okay, all right.
It's like it's actually, they called it a mechanical line, so I don't think it's necessarily made for that. So it's something that nobody really does, but of course you always got to have some kind of drama. Star Wars, they got to drive in the meteor shower and avoid being wrecked, and there's only one guy who can do it. So we always got to have a little bit of drama. So meanwhile, Zion's preparing for war. Yeah, and I mean, they're preparing for machines to come in and who wants to kill them all. And we find out they got missile launchers. They got big machines that look like they're from Avatar, with big guns on them. Now, here's the part that got me about. I understand the robot with big fat guns, right? You know what job I don't want? I don't want the job where I got to run out ammo in the middle of a battlefield to a big-ass robot.
Yeah. But that's the first time I've ever seen that in a movie before. Like, I've never really seen them having to reload like that, like during a battle or a war or something like that. That's the first time I ever seen something like that.
I mean, you gotta figure something out because
but you never see that in Transformers. You never see them worried about reloading their weapons or anything like that.
True.
Yeah. So I did like that they added that to the movie, because that's something that has to happen in real life. You have to reload.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, and also Link's wife has decided to stay back and make missiles and help load the missiles to in hopes that her and Link will be reunited. And he's on the ship with Naomi, so who knows what's going to happen there. Meanwhile, Neo is
no, yeah, you know what? Hold on. That was something that maybe I dozed off and then missed this part. I really think so, because at one point in time they were together at the beginning of the movie, right? They were talking and everything.
Who?
Link and Naomi. I mean, not Naomi. His wife. They were.
No, talking. No, they were talking through the communicator, but not. They weren't
Okay,
directly.
okay,
Yeah, they
okay.
were talking through the communicator, trying to figure things out. But she didn't want him on the ship to begin with. So
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought they had hugged goodbye, and I thought she didn't want him to go, but he was like, I'm about to go." And it seemed like they were when they left, they left to come back. That's what it seemed like to me. So I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I guess I got lost somewhere.
well, when they originally left, they left to go see the Oracle. That was the two ships that left. One to go see the Oracle, one to help out. And
Okay, yeah, that's what it was. Okay, that's what it
yeah,
was. Okay.
so they're still coming back from that. So here's the part that really got me. So that dude, Bane or whatever his name was, he woke up.
Mm-hmm.
When did he get on the ship? Oh, he must have been already on the ship.
Yeah, I think I think he was already on there.
So he had a girl that was watching over him, trying to give him like a truth serum, and he killed her. And then literally he went right after Neo and Trinity. So he threw Trinity down like in a.
Did they say what happened to him?
They were trying to figure out what happened when he passed out, but he was being difficult and pretend like he didn't remember until he got an
No,
opportunity.
I'm talking about so he never explained why he passed out.
No, he said he don't remember. But he got hit by the EMP blast. I think knocked him out.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So meanwhile, he was going through that, and then he goes after Neo and Trinity. So he throws Trinity down in the hole so he can go after Neo, and now Neo and him are fighting over that gun. She turns the power off, but he got blasted with the laser gun, and now Neo's blind.
Right.
So and then he ends up killing this guy, and him and Trinity get back on track, and they get up to the machine world. But then in the meantime, the war is happening.
But don't we find out Bane is somebody else? Out of
Oh yeah, he was Mr. Smith.
Yes.
I don't know if Smith took him over but kept his form, or if he was like, a Mr.
I'm assuming that I just assumed that was him. That was just who he
Well,
really was outside of the Matrix.
He can always put himself in people, but in this one, he kept the guy looking the same so he could trick everybody.
No, I was assuming that was his. I thought that was what he really looked like, and when he went into the Matrix, that's he changed his look for the Matrix. That's what I thought. But like I said, once again, that was something that was never explained.
You're right, and I've never thought of it that way. That's interesting. That is
I just assumed that
totally
was his real.
Way
I just assumed that was his real look.
To think on that. So the other, well, like I said, while all this is going on, there's just pure chaos and war, and I mean, it's very obvious right off the bat. Like, this is a 1 in a million shot that Zion's going to be able to do anything with these damn robots, because they are pretty efficient and ruthless, just like the dude, the architect said. Like, they've been doing this for a while. They've gotten very good at it. I mean, I'm surprised they lasted as long as they did, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they needed a lot more weaponry. And
well, I mean, I guess if you're just for years going into the Matrix, pulling out people. I mean, I guess anytime someone dies, you just go get somebody else to replace them.
Yeah.
So.
So I mean, I did enjoy though. The war scene was cool. I mean, there's some more they could have done with it, but like I said, it's not really a fight scene, and we're kind of looking for some fight scenes.
Yeah, no, there wasn't any,
and especially because they've given us,
it was just Neo against Bane. That was pretty much it.
I mean, and then at the end, but even that was the better fight scene. It wasn't even much of a fight scene. They were just kind of flying around.
Yeah.
Looked like a bad Dragon Ball fight.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, during the war, they're waiting. Naomi's coming in hot, and they need her EMP because they're getting getting smashed.
Mm-hmm.
They got gunners, they got people loading, they got Lincoln and Link's wife and a friend. They're shooting people the best they can, but meanwhile, they got drills just popping in and then big robots just grabbing people and tearing them apart. So, they got to regroup and try to figure things out. They're trying to shut one area down and move back, and they're just getting, pushed back into Zion further and further, and they're not keeping up. So the main captain who was in charge of fighting, he gets jacked up. And the one dude who was kind of worshiping Neo, who's sending out ammunition, they're telling the captain before he, dies, he tells him, "Hey, Naomi and the crew's coming in hot with EMP. You got to open that door up." And this kid's like, I haven't even passed the training. And then the captain even tells him, "Neither did I," which is kind of funny because he was kind of on him a little bit during the whole movie. And now you're like, "Oh, you didn't even pass this training, and you're the one in charge." That's a little interesting, but gotta add a little drama to it. So, he gets up and he gets in, he's fighting everyone off, and he falls down, and you think it's over. And then Link's wife shows up. She picks up a big laser gun and lets him get that door open. They come crashing in with the ship, hit the EMP, knock out all the robots, and you think, okay, at least they got a minute to breathe. But not even 2-3 minutes later, they're just back pounding at the door. I mean, millions of them. So what are you going to do? It's like, what was the point? And it shut down any of their electrical weapons.
So now you're about to get into the stupid part. Stupid part.
Yeah, well, so they're fish in a barrel. Now, we slowly but surely we're discovering what Neo's plan is. But on the way to the machine world, Trinity is driving, and it becomes bumpy. They're getting attacked. The machines have no idea why he's there, and he's been putting, through hell already. And he can still see as blind because he can see the Matrix, but now it's orange and it's glowing, and he's telling Trinity all about it. He's telling her it's beautiful. I wish I could show you, blah, blah, blah. And they crash, and she goes flying. She gets impaled. And this is the part, like, I'm sorry, but they weren't trying to win. They weren't trying to win no Oscar here because it was painful to watch. It was like,
but okay. She didn't act like she was in any pain at all. She was just kind of just laying there and just.
Well, she just looked at him and said, like, "I can't go any further with you." And then he's like, of course he can't see, so he starts feeling around like, what's going on? And then he realizes what happened. And he's, oh no, oh my god. And it's like, I mean, like he wasn't very distraught. I would have been a lot more distraught if the person I love just died.
Yeah,
and really didn't have to.
Well, shoot. I mean, if I'm her, I would have been screaming my head off. Like, now all of a sudden she has all of these poles piercing through her body, and she's not making any noise, not whimpering, no tears really. She
was in shock, and love was carrying her on.
Yeah, do you know how loud I would have been yelling "fuck"? You know I would have been
yelling.
Right. What the like? I would have died right there from just the shock of it, like to see
just
all these
balls.
Yeah,
So I mean, yeah, and then you kind of get the idea that Neo's not planning on coming back. That's pretty much what you're kind of noticing. And I mean, honestly, he probably at that point felt like he's all in because he just lost the one he loves. So he gets up to the machines and he basically tells them, because they're like ready to kill him. And he says, listen, Smith is out of control. You can't stop him. I can. And they're like, meanwhile, the machines like all form together, like Finding Nemo fish, and are a talking head all of a sudden, like Wizard of Oz or something. Right. I don't even know. Yeah. It was a little far fetched. Yeah. Like, how you talking just because you formed a face? I don't understand. Somebody please explain this to me. So, and they kind of ask him, well, what do you think? How do you think? What happens if you don't kill him? What happened? Da, 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 da. So he says, don't worry, I'll take care of it. It's no problem. So they plug him into the Matrix, and he goes after Smith. And this one's a one-on-one fight with all the million Smiths watching, which was interesting. Because, I mean, before he fought them all.
Right.
Now it's just one-on-one, and the rest of them are watching, yelling and screaming and cheering him on like a cheer squad. And, I mean, for a final boss fight, there wasn't much to it.
It wasn't. It was stupid.
I was really kind of thinking, like, this is supposed to be the last fight of this movie. The rest of the fight scenes up to this point were pretty good. So we should have got a little bit more here. And I just don't know if they rushed it, if they had some issues. The choreographer didn't show up that day. I don't know. Because, I mean, they did a lot of, I know Angel, if he was here, they did a lot of line tricks. So it was a lot of in the air fighting and jumping off the walls. One good punch, like slow motion punch in the rain, that was okay. But I mean, there really wasn't. They didn't do any of the fast moving fighting like they've been doing. Neo didn't do his signature kick and hold it out and move his foot. Just some of the stuff you kind of have been used to in this movie. No guns or nothing. No bow. No weapons. I mean, nothing. And ultimately, he doesn't even defeat him with the fight. He kind of realizes during Smith monologuing, more or less, villain monologuing, he realizes the answer is just to let Smith take his body over like he's been trying to do. And then when he does that, he uses his Neo the One powers. I don't know what to call it.
He just turned into a flashing light. That's all he did.
And he destroys himself with Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And they destroy, and it kind of just destroys the whole Matrix, I guess. I don't know, or destroys that whole realm. And the machines are happy, I guess.
But
and
why?
They leave. That's what I didn't get.
That did not make sense. That the machines' whole purpose were to kill the humans.
Yes.
And the humans are still there. Like, take Smith out of it. If Smith had never been in the movies at all, the purpose should still be for the machines to kill the humans. Why they would leave made no sense at all.
Okay, during the second movie or I can't remember I think it was the second one. They said that the machines actually need the humans, but they have no problem killing them because they have another source. What do they need the humans for? It's not food, is it?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't remember
it never in the first two movies. I don't remember the machines ever seeming to have a consciousness. Like, why do they have conscience? Like, why are they able to think? It's a machine. I didn't get it. Like, they didn't say like this is the head AI guy or anything. Like, they were just machines. It wasn't like this was Megatron wanting to take over the Earth. It was just a
lot of information. It was a lot of information being thrown at you, but sometimes it just had no basis.
Mm-hmm.
So it was almost like, okay, but where did that come from? Or where did this come from? Like, I get the idea of most of the stuff, but like, why? What?
So now they're friends with the machines?
Because then at the very end, you see the little girl with the Oracle, and the little girl, she made a rainbow for Neo, and Neo would like it, da 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 da. And her and the Oracle say it's going to be okay now, everything's going to be happy. And then the architect shows up and talks to the Oracle, and she tells him, like, are you going to behave? And he says, no, I'm fine, I'll be okay, but this won't last. And then they started talking about the others. They started talking about, well, what about the other people who want to leave the Matrix? They can leave. Okay, so the architect said that. But then they started talking about like the other Neo / the ones that are still out there. For what? So now we get into a multiverse? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't get it. I didn't get it. It didn't make sense.
I mean, I'm glad they didn't do that. That would have really just mess things up.
Yeah, I didn't understand. Like, what was the purpose? What were the machines trying to do from the very, very beginning? Like, why is Morpheus and Trinity in the first movie? Like, this didn't tie everything together from all three movies. Nothing got tied together to make
No, it really
sense.
just left me scratching my head.
Yeah, I mean, so what was the purpose? Like,
I think that when I saw this when it first came out, I think I told myself it made sense because I wanted it to make sense. I'm really watching it this time around, going, no, it didn't make sense.
no, it didn't. Like, why? I mean, so did the machines not want Morpheus and all those other people to pull people out into the real world? And if I get pulled into the real world, I will be pissed that I
Yeah.
leave this now into going to hell, because that's what that place looks like. It looked like hell,
Yeah,
so
more or less. But they're
so
like, well, this is reality, and we got to fight the machine. We got to fight the power, or stay a drone in a world of machines and have your life mapped out for you. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, and like the machines are actually going to be okay with the humans walking around that place.
Obviously they weren't, because they destroyed it.
Well, you're not talking about Morpheus in them. They're not destroyed.
No, now they're good. But for how long?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, so what are they? I mean, so how do they survive in that place? I don't know, man. It's just stupid. It just nothing made sense. And I know Jeff is probably going to hear us and give us his 2 cents about what's
ahead and
right
explain it. I don't care. We did it with the swordman. Like,
no. I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying, like, I know he's going to give us the explanation that we're probably missing, but I don't know where.
That's fine. I'd like
come up
it
with that
because
stuff.
I still got, I'm still a little left in the dark here.
Yeah, I am too. I'm
and it's
definitely
even gonna. The next one I know really messes it up, because now it almost erases what we just watched.
Yeah, like I said, I watched the first 30 minutes and was really, I watched the first 30 minutes, without finishing this, and it didn't make sense. Now it really doesn't make sense. So
I'm sure, if I remember correctly, they do explain it, and I do remember watching and going, "Oh, I'm kind of happy that I got a new Matrix," but it made no sense because it just nullifies everything that we just watched.
Yeah, so basically, I heard that the person that created this movie also created Terminator, and I guess these properties were stolen or created, and she didn't get credit for it. That's what I heard. And I wonder if this movie was like the brainstorming leftover things that they didn't use in Terminator, and they just said, "Hey, we got all these scraps of paper of different ideas and things that we had for the Terminator. Let's just put this stuff together and make another movie."
That's
because I mean, the ideas are still the same,
Yeah.
and the world is being taken over by machines. It's the same idea for both movies. So I wouldn't be surprised if this was just leftovers.
That's interesting.
At least the first movie. Did you not hear that? You didn't know that?
No, I never heard that, but it makes sense.
Okay, yeah. I guess that lady was just awarded some money a few years ago, not long ago, supposedly. She was awarded some money.
So they change it from the Matrix to Terminator leftovers.
Well, I mean, if I definitely would believe it if I had just seen this movie and not the other two movies, because this movie looks like it would have been some stuff that was just left over, and they didn't know what to do with it, and they just threw it all together to make a movie. Like I said, I didn't like it. It didn't make any sense. So, but even though I did not like it, I'm not going to give it an F. I'm not doing that.
No, I'm not. I mean, it's watchable.
And I'm never watching this again. I would never watch this again. I out of all of them, I like the first movie the best. They should have just ended it with the first movie. It should have just been one and done. The Matrix, that's it. It was no need for second and third movie.
And definitely not the fourth.
Yeah. But what grade do you give this movie?
A D.
Okay, yeah. I'm going D-. I'm going D-. And it's gonna be interesting the type of feedback we get on the movie, what other people think.
It got the lowest scores on, but it still got like it wasn't thumbs down by the people. But I think people still were like me at the time. They were really into the first two, and they were waiting for that third one, and then it came out, and you were like, yeah. And then you kind of were like later, maybe you're going, no. But that's how I'm feeling right now. And that's been very rare. Most of the time, if I like a movie the first time, I usually watch it again and again and have no problems with it. In fact, a lot of times I like it even better. But this time, no, this one got me.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I didn't like it at all. And you know what? I saw it back in the day when I was working midnights doing security. I remember watching it on my laptop, and I don't even remember. I remember watching the movie because I watched two and three together. One night, then the next night watch the other one, and I don't even remember neither one of these movies. So that shows you what type of impression they both left on me. I didn't remember anything really. Like different scenes I remember, but for the most part, I didn't remember the purpose of the movie, the idea. I knew Trinity died. I remember that part, and I remember Neo dying. But other than that, I didn't remember the plot or the story, and I guess I was just as confused back in the day as I am now about this movie. So
seems like it.
Yeah.
Hey man, we got through it. Okay.
Yeah. So we're not gonna we're not gonna have a show next week because I'll be out of town. So we got a couple weeks, and then we're gonna get to the next. I'm not watching the next movie next week at all. I'm gonna wait right before we have to record, and then I'll watch the movie.
Listen, man, I don't even remember, so I'm not even gonna. I can't remember. I do remember in my mind thinking the next movie, even though I didn't hate it, was unnecessary. It's a money grab.
So that's a couple years ago. That was in 2021. So it was a couple years ago.
So we'll see what I think this next time watching it.
Yeah, and then we'll be done with Keanu. We'll be done with him. Is there any movies that you want to watch next after the final Matrix?
That list you sent me from Black Butt Magazine, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
If we can find it, I think it's on Amazon. It's Enter the Fat Dragon.
Okay. Enter the Fat
Dragon. I got to know what that's about. And there's good reviews on it, so it might be a parody, it might be silly, but I got to know what that's about because that one, the title itself, just got me.
Okay, so we'll go with that list from Black Belt Magazine.
There's a lot of good ones on there that I haven't seen.
Yeah, there's a lot of movies on there. I mean, there's a couple that we have seen, but for the most part, I think the majority of the movies we haven't seen. So
yeah,
that's a cool list that they put out there for us. That'll help us for a couple of months actually.
For sure.
And Angel did not show up. He did text me, and he said he was. Yeah, he texted me. He said he wasn't going to be on it. Something's going on with his phone, so
it's all good.
He wasn't able to connect.
Oh yeah, he texted me too.
Yeah. So, all right. You got any closing remarks?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, that's it for this week. I don't have anything else. Just getting ready for this trip, everybody. So like we said, we're not going to have a show next week, so we'll see you in a couple weeks. Everybody stay safe, stay strong. We'll holler at you next week or in a couple weeks.
Yes, sir.
And I will play our music.
Disaster must come. At best, only postponed. Shaolin Kung Fu, to survive, must now be taught to more young men.